Welcome to day 2. Super pumped you're here. Hello, hello. All right, welcome to day 2, where we are hopping in on the self-love train. I've talked to so many people in the last 24 hours about self-love. So many paradigms come up against Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day's over. You don't have to deal with it again till next year. But the key is in recognizing what was coming up for you. And I hope, excuse me, I hope that you are seeing the importance of self-love, that it's in you to give. Okay, so once again today, we're going to be about 60 minutes. I want you to show up. I want you to be present. And when you tag me in your challenges, send them to me. I'm giving away 3 one-month High Vibe Society memberships. So during this time, if you haven't registered, I want you to get registered so you can get the workbook. And you can go through and you can do these things. I'm going to keep this all posted for about a week. So it's all going to come down on the 21st. Okay. So when you're here, if you're watching the replay, let me know you're watching the replay. I want to see your awareness shining through. So yesterday, what we did was we really leveraged. And the whole idea was to reflect on your current paradigms, your current self-image. Where are you right now? Because I'm here to tell you, wherever you are right now is not, you need to give up this person to become who you are with your goals already achieved. I got like that tickle, you know what I'm saying? So today, what we're going to do is we are going to release that image and decide to step into the next version of yourself that's already achieving the goals. Okay? Really reflect on how yesterday went for you, how day 1 went for you. How did it feel to start letting go, to release? Because it's so important to be able to do this. You can't have one foot in the past and trying to move forward. Okay? You will be able to really raise your vibe and as you are letting go. But you will notice we're not going to hang out in the let it go space. Okay? We acknowledge it. We say, thanks for coming out. Thanks for teaching me everything that I needed. But we're done. That's all it was. It was a teacher, a lesson for you. You needed it to happen. You needed it to happen. Even if it didn't feel very good. You needed it to happen. It was a lesson. But believe me when I say you will be given that lesson over and over and over and over until you learn from it and then release it. Releasing it with joy. Like fully just giving yourself permission to just let it go. Now, what I want you to do is I want you now to focus on where you're going. You know where you are. Now you need to know where you're going. Because remember, this subconscious mind, it doesn't get it. I know you're made for more. You know you're made for more. But your subconscious mind doesn't know that you're made for more. And every time you start entertaining a thought that looks different from where you've been currently hanging out, understand that fear, doubt, worry, it's going to register. Okay, as you're thinking about this, all these things that you desire, you're planting a seed. And this sets up a completely different vibration. So when you're going for a goal, you're going to go through 3 stages. And if you know and acknowledge them, then you can take action to reprogram so that you don't completely retreat and abandon the goal. Okay? Think of how many people set a goal January 1st, a New Year's resolution. National Quitting Day was like over 2 weeks ago already. Statistics show by February 18th, the majority has already given up. They've stopped it. They're over it. It's crazy, right? How does that happen? Habit. They're also in the habit of letting themselves off the hook. And then they don't get results. And then it's everybody, it's like, oh, it was my manager's fault. It's the government's fault. It's my mom's fault. It's my, what, this happened to me. I started not feeling well, or I went to a wedding and I ate and drank. And so I just figured, I may as well, like, I've already kind of like kiboshed the old diet. I may as well just keep going, even though keeping going on that path makes me feel like garbage. Okay, understand the very first step to this is bondage. Okay, your conditioning, your paradigm, let's call this an X type energy. Okay, so you are in an X type energy, an X type vibration, just walking around, taking everything in. Okay, taking everything in through your 5 senses. Okay, so when this power flows to and through you, you are then going to have X type thoughts, which is going to set up an X type vibration. And then your body is going to take X type action. Okay, people earning 50K a year aren't thinking the thoughts of a person earning 100K a year or $1 million a year. Mostly they can't even dream of it. And it's not because they can't. It's not because they don't have access to the same tools as the person earning $1 million a year. It's just because they're not aware of how. They aren't used to thinking those type of thoughts. And because they don't expand out of what's keeping them in those thoughts, year after year after year, they keep getting the same results. They're living in bondage. They're not free. They know they want more. But because they don't know how to get it, and when they start to take action, it makes them uncomfortable. So they just think it's unattainable. That your Elon Musks of the world are an anomaly, or your friend that's in a happy, fulfilling relationship is an anomaly. Right? They don't even understand the concept of freedom. There is no awareness that comes with it. If you can move a little bit out of bondage, you'll start to get into reason. Okay, so take the same individual who's thinking X type thoughts, reasoning and behavior, and now they start with a Y type idea. They come on an event like this, and I get them thinking just a little bit differently. I say things like, hey, if time and money weren't a thing, what do you want? Okay, and as long as they are in a Y type idea in their conscious mind and stay there, nothing's going to happen. Right? Maybe Maybe the idea is like, oh, I should sell my business, or I should start my business, or I should leave this relationship, or I should start a relationship, or wouldn't it be cool if I had $1 million? Wouldn't it be cool if I went on that trip that I've been putting off? Okay. But the difference here is that they're starting to entertain something bigger than themselves, something different that kind of lights them up. Okay. It's their uniqueness and it's seeking expression. They've begun to think differently. But as long as they don't bring an emotion to it, it stays right here in the conscious mind. They see, hear, smell, taste, and touch something and they go, oh, that would be cool. No action, it stays here. Okay. But when that X type energy in the subconscious mind, remember, this is where all your habits are, that decides what vibration we're in, that vibration that we are in on a conscious level, and we call it feeling. Okay, feelings are just a word that us lowly humans have made up to describe our awareness of what vibration we're in. Okay, if I'm sad, anxious, depressed, I'm in a low vibration. If I'm happy, excited, positive, optimistic, I'm in a high vibration, higher vibration. Okay, but here's a person that introduces this Y type idea into their mind. And when that happens, it now puts them in this XY vibration. And it's like freaking chaos. It feels uncomfortable. And because of that, instantly, fear, doubt, worry, it registers in the mind. Okay, so it's fear, like our ignorance, our not knowing in the conscious mind leads to fear in the subconscious mind, because this is our feeling mind. And then we don't ever express our fears. We don't ever, we're just like, we just keep them in. Don't let anybody know I'm crapping my pants right now. Just like, "Ooh," and we suppress it and it makes us anxious. So it's for anxiety. Anxiety is just fear turned inwards. So if you're like, I'm a really anxious person, okay, find out what you're scared of. Telling you, guaranteed. I just saved you years of counseling. You're welcome. Okay. And it shows up as anxiety. And again, we don't express anxiety, we suppress it. You suppress it long enough, it's going to turn into depression. And then you tell me one person that you know of, guarantee you know lots of people that are depressed right now, that are not feeling it in their body. When they are in this negative polarity, ignorance, fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, depression, it is going to show up. They probably don't have a lot of energy. They're probably in a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of like anxiety induced illness, right? Because we just start pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down. Okay. But either way, you're starting to entertain something different and all hell's breaking loose. Okay. So what do? Typically, we retreat back to bondage. Okay. And then the cycle just continues. Remember that time when you actually started taking action on something that you wanted and then you got scared and you're like, screw this, I'm out. And then you just kept going back to what you were doing before and didn't ever do it. You've probably, I bet you know your story. You're the only one that really truly knows your story. I bet you can name a handful of times in your life when you've done this. You're not alone. You're not alone. Everybody's done this at some point. I'm telling you, the key is to get through the fear. Understand that the fear is going to pop up and it's going to make you anxious and it's going to make you uncomfortable. but it's guaranteed part of the process. Expect it. And when it pops up, like I literally now I'm like, oh, hello there, fear. Hello there. I expected you would show up at some point. But your fear is going to strike. You're going to start thinking things like, what if I lose? What if I don't get what I want? What if people think I'm nuts? What if they don't like me? And it all comes from being in this XY vibration. Okay. Brilliant says if a person advances confidently in the direction of their dreams and endeavors to live the life they imagined, they will meet with success unexpected in common hours. Okay. You have to endeavor. You have to. You have to try. How do you do this? All you have to do is ask, am I able and am I willing? And make a decision. We know you're able. You're working with the same energy as me, that other person that's getting what they want, Oprah, Beyonce, you name it. All the people that are working with the same amount of time, the same energy source, which is money, everybody's working from it. Okay? I want you to be in an integral vibration moving forward so that you're not in chaos. To do that, you have to have a definite purpose that guides your ambitions. It guides your vision for your life. It guides your goals. And one that supports your current self-image. Could you imagine how 2022 can look if you adopted a definite purpose and then stood by that purpose until it became an all-consuming purpose? Most people are not living their purpose, if they even know what it is. The fact is that each of us has specific talents and gifts uniquely coded within our DNA. And I'll talk to people and they'll be like, no, I was meant to be a nurse. I was actually talking to somebody the other day. They're like, I can't see myself doing anything other than being a paramedic. Well, it's because you've been one for 20 years and that's all you know. It's your habit. When you talk about it, it doesn't sound like your purpose because you're miserable. You're not going to ever be miserable in your purpose. Yes, there's pros and cons, I guess, there's positive and negatives to every job. But I can tell you, as someone that's being on purpose, okay, even my things that I have to do that I don't love, I never get drained by them. I could literally have to do them all day long and not be drained at the end of the day. That's what it feels like to be on purpose. So if at the end of your day, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. Or if even, 3 out of 5 work days, you're like, oh, right? Acknowledge this. You won't be like that when you're on purpose. Okay, so as you go through life, you don't just pick up things that you're doing by chance. You discover what you're good at because you were meant to discover it. Just as you're meant to figure out what your fingers do or how your elbows work. Okay, your unique gifts, they're hardwired into your system. Okay, just like my lungs are working right now. They're just like blueprinted. Their purpose is to breathe. They know it. My ears, their purpose is to hear. My eyeballs, their purpose are to see. Okay. Everything in your body and everything in nature has a purpose and it knows it. It doesn't question it. The thing with being human, though, is we think like one day I want to be a cucumber, the next day I want to be a tomato. Okay. Just decide, make a decision. We're not great at that either. When you know your purpose, you're really good at making decisions because things either go towards your purpose or they don't. Like it's not a, oh, maybe if I say it this way, maybe it'll make towards my purpose. No, like you'll know. And then you get to say no to things. Oh, I know. That was huge for me. I was like such a yes man. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Understand that you have these really specific talents and gifts and you're able to really like define and determine your definite purpose from them. The reason why you're here. Everybody's here for a reason. Every single person. I was chatting with someone the other day and they're like, "Well, my reason is to raise my kids and to be a mom." I said, "Well, that can't be your reason because you were here before them and you might be here after them." Like or inevitably they're going to fly the nest and it's going to be you again. It's not that can't be your purpose. Okay? What's in you, understand it cannot be found by any other living human. So even if you're like, my purpose is to be a coach. Do you know how many coaches there are out there? But I already know, I know, nobody coaches like me. I know this. Everybody could have the same training and the same whatever. Nobody's going to do it like you. So when you stop comparing yourself to other people, then you'll know that people aren't comparing you either. Okay? But if you fail to determine your definite purpose, everything else is going to feel off. It's like working with a broken compass. You're just kind of like wandering around. You might already think you know what you're good at and what you love to do most, but then you think, oh, like I could never earn money doing it. Whoever said that to you? Whoever gave you that idea? Okay, when you're sorting out your purpose, I don't want you to think that like that thing that pops in is a non-issue. You can earn money doing anything. Okay? Once you determine your purpose, you won't even have to think hard on how to earn money. It's as if you're just being like guided by this unseen hand heading you in the right direction, allowing all these things just to like fall on your lap. And everything just seems to fall into place. I remember about a year into growing my network marketing business, I remember like taking a step back and going like, how did I end up even doing this? Like, how did I end up even doing this? Like, this was not the plan. I went to school and did all these things and I was climbing the corporate ladder. Like, how am I? And at this point, I'm starting to like consider, like, oh, pretty good at this. Maybe and I like love it. It fills me with energy and I always seem to find energy to do it. Like, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Right. But it was just like, how did I even end up here? There's your plan and then there's the plan. We always just think our plan's better. Okay. The key to your life is not that you settle for safe, the safe thing that'll bring in money. Okay. We already talked about yesterday. Money is energy, it's everywhere. Just start loving on it. The key is to turn and do what you love. Fall in love with that idea. Really get emotionally involved with it. That's your life. That's your purpose. Show up and serve with it. We think that work was made for us so that we could earn a living. That's not true. Work was made for us to serve. This is basic law of the universe. You either create or you disintegrate, right? So if your goal, I ask people about their goals all the time. It's my favorite question. What's your goal? What's your goal? And they say, oh, I'm going to I got like 8 years left and I'm going to retire. Like, what does that even mean? 8 years left and I'm going to retire. Then what? Oh, well, then I'm just going to travel. Okay, well, what do you want to do while you're traveling? Right? You say, I just like to ask questions because this is how our society is set up. And again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to work for the same spot for 30 years. I'm not hating on it. But your purpose in life isn't to grind it out for 30 years miserable so you can start living at 65. You're here to start living now. And if what you're doing doesn't allow you to do that, you need to either and it's your purpose, you need to talk to whoever you're working with or for. Because you need to be living now. You are not guaranteed anything. And again, I can guarantee you know somebody that grinded it out for 30 years and then died at 66 or 64. Actually, no, I know somebody that happened last week. They were months away from retirement. It's heartbreaking because I know what the last 30 years looked like for them. Okay, you're not guaranteed anything. And we're heads up, we're all here until we're not. And there's so many people that have this fear of death. And I'm like, why are you fearing what you know is going to happen? It's inevitable. So doesn't it just, if you're trying to think logically, if we're going to go there, doesn't it make sense to do what you love now? Doesn't it make sense to fill every single day that you have on this planet with joy? All you got to do is just figure out what it is. Okay. And then you fall in love with the idea. Okay. More often than not, when we think of love, we think of two human beings being in love. When they're in love, they enjoy the same ideas. Their feelings are in harmony. Okay. Understand any sort of love is just resonance. Love occurs when two entities, could be people, could be you with your work, could be you with your self, could be you with your purpose, could be you with I love my dog. Right? Love is resonance. It's when you have these two entities and they're on the same frequency. Okay, so when a person falls in love with an idea, their conscience and subconscious are resonating. They're in sync. And it's what's going on in the mind that dictates the vibration of the body and moves it into action. Okay? You think about it, you attach a feeling to it, and your subconscious is what's putting you into action. You can't read the book and then say, oh, I'm going to go into action. How many people have done that? I used to do that all the freaking time, guys. Oh my gosh, all the time. All the time. All the time. I would read a book or go to an event with my company or go see a speaker, listen to something like this or listen to really an awesome podcast. And then I wouldn't do anything with it. I'd be get so frustrated with myself. Guys, you got to get to the root. And that's your sub. And you do this through emotion. And love is the highest vibrational emotion that you can attach to anything. So this is where when people are scared to fall in love again if they've been burned, understand that just even the act of falling in love is such a gift to yourself. That whole saying, like, it's better to have loved than lost than to never have loved at all, is true. Even if you are in love with an idea or a person or whatever, even if they don't return your love, oh my gosh, what a gift that you just gave to yourself. Allowing yourself to have that emotion, it is the best. It's the best. And it will help put you in a vibration like no other. And then you get to start attracting in all the stuff. It'll give you new ideas. I love to read Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Again, a book I recommend. You can read it all you want, but unless you actually apply it, then nothing. Okay. So love to read that book, but so many examples in there of people in history that thrived the moment they were in love. Now he gives examples of being in love with another human, but it's like when you even start loving yourself, you will raise your vibration 20-fold. And then you attract in new ideas. So you have to allow yourself to fall in love with an idea. Okay, what is it that you really love to do? The psychologist Alfred Adler, he said, "I'm grateful for the idea that used me." Okay, when you fall in love with an idea, it guides you. You don't guide it anymore. It literally is like you'll take a step back and go, "How did I even end up here?" Well, you just did. It guides you. It makes your decisions for you. Okay, I'm so clear on where I'm going when I need to make a decision, which is what our lives are. It's all we have to do over and over again is just make decisions. My decision, it's so clear. It's like it's either going to lead me there or it's not. And if it's not, it doesn't, that's not where I'm going. That's not the decision. It's somebody else's decision. They can do it. It's probably going to rock their goal, but it's not for me. And I don't even get FOMO anymore. I used to just take on everything because I didn't want to miss out. Okay. You are going to find yourself digging around for ambition or seeking to achieve your purpose. Okay? But what I'm telling you, when you find it, it's going to push you out of bed in the morning. Long before your alarm clock even thinks about going off. I was talking to somebody the other morning and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped about my goal." Like I'm waking up like an hour before my alarm clock goes off. That's not like me. I typically don't do that. We had nothing to excite you before. Period. This is just nicer to stay in bed. Okay, when you land on your purpose and truly start doing what you love, it's like being 12 years old again. Waking up on the first day of summer vacation. Right? Like what's really the difference between the last day of school and the first day of summer? Nothing's changed. The weather is probably still the same, right? The only thing that's changed is you. You've changed. And as an adult, if you're like, "Oh, I can't remember when I was 12," what's the difference between Friday and Saturday? Nothing. It's just the weekend and you're not showing up doing some job that you don't love. You get to do whatever you want on Saturday and Sunday because that's how our society revolves. What's the difference between you on the last day of work before your vacation and the first day of your vacation? Nothing. Nothing's actually changed. The world's still spinning. People are still doing their thing. The difference is you. Okay. This is what it feels like to act on purpose. It pushes your ambition through the roof. Okay. So really recognize you're not on this planet to live someone else's dream. Okay. What is it that you love to do? Don't bother yourself with what everyone else says. I promise you, someone else's opinion is none of your damn business. Don't even worry about it. Okay, I've already explained when you're not on purpose, odds are you're going to build in the wrong direction. Okay, when you believe you found your purpose, do not allow yourself to be dissuaded by others' opinions. Don't allow them to tell you what direction you need to build in. Okay, be on purpose. And I get it. Like like Linda, big fear of rejection. She likes everybody to like her. She likes everything to be perfect and to appear perfect, even if it's not. Okay. That that was one of my very first thoughts that I was like, oh my gosh, this thought is not serving me. And still every single day I have to wake up and decide, don't worry about it. Keep moving forward, 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 forward only. Every day I have to decide. And I've been deciding for years now. It's been years. Recovering perfectionist at your service. Okay, but when you have the right purpose, you can easily develop the vision. And then when you have the vision, you can easily recognize the goal. You're like, oh, this is my next step. Okay, your purpose leads to your vision leads to your goal. Okay, once you've found your purpose, how do you express it? Well, you express it by creating and maintaining the vision. Your vision is what you do with your life. Your vision is the strategy behind the fulfillment of your purpose. Okay, you accomplish this strategy by creating all your little short-term goals. Right? Van Gogh, he said, I dream my painting and I paint my dream. We all know Van Gogh, he knew his purpose in life. His vision was the completion of his paintings. And all of them were so unique and different from one another. How he put his vision to canvas involved a lot of short-term goals. Okay, vision is the connector between your purpose that never changes and your goals that are going to change constantly as you evolve. It's the connector. Okay, so make sure you're crack into your workbook. Okay, go to day 2. And what I want you to do is I want you to name one thing that you can have, be, or do in the future. Okay, and I want you to put that idea in that center circle. Okay, and now all those little clouds around, I want you to put all of your thoughts about that idea. Okay, and your paradigm is going to come in strong. Okay, because you're going to start to entertain something different. So just expect it. I'm telling you, just expect it. Document whatever it says, anyways. Okay, so say your example is, I want to earn $10,000 a month. Okay, so some voices are going to talk to you about what would you spend the money on? Oh, well, if I'm earning $10,000 a month, and in a bubble, you're going to put, I would buy a boat, I would go on vacation, I would whatever. Okay, like some voices are going to do this. That other voice is going to pop in and it's going to tell you you're going to have to work harder. But you'll be able to buy the house you want, and I won't help be debt free, and oh, I'm not enough. Like, who am I to earn $10,000 a month? Like all those voices are going to pop in too. Capture them. Okay. And all of these thoughts are happening at the same time about the same thing. And that's okay. Put it down anyways. Get it all filled in. And then you have to make a decision. Okay? The difference between fear and faith is outcomes. I can tell by a person's results instantly. Do you make your decisions based on fear, or do you make them based on faith? Faith meaning knowledge, awareness, knowing. And again, there's nothing wrong with fear. You're making decisions based on ignorance, meaning just not knowing. The difference between the two is your results. Either way, there's going to be an outcome. But I can tell you, one feels better. You know when you're making decisions out of fear and you're like, and then we'll justify why you had to make that decision. Well, it's because I don't have the money. Oh, it's because I don't have the time. And it's usually time or money. Like our paradigms around time and money are crazy. Okay. Do you want to bring about doubt that it's something that you can't do something? Or do you want to bring about faith and hope that something's going to work out for you? Because we're all energy and it runs to and through us and it just flows. You get to decide. Okay, where focus goes, energy flows. If you are thinking negative, you're going to get negative, and vice versa with positive thoughts. Okay, you want to be on the same frequency as it. Okay, so if I call your cell phone, I'm going to reach you because we're on the same frequency, right? But if I'm just like one number off, I'm not going to be able to connect with you by phone. But the goal is the same. Okay, you can't just be thinking lovely thoughts and expect to get it. You have to actually be on the same frequency as it. Okay, how do you feel dictates what you will get. Okay, and this is the difference and why your self-image is so important. And there's a difference between self-esteem and self-image. So your self-esteem, this is how you evaluate yourself. Your self-image is how you see yourself. Okay, so those bubbles, they're more of your self-image. This is just how you see it. It's not the way it actually is. Right? It's like a game where you have to find like the objects, where you got like a Where's Waldo, right? You've got to find the different objects. My kids love those. There's a ton on the page and you're told to find the teapot. You can't see it. And then one of my kids will be like, oh, there's the teapot. And then I can't not see it ever again. I'm like, oh, I know where the teapot is, but I couldn't find it for the life of me, right? All you need to do is just look at things in a different way. What would your life look like if you just looked at things in a different way? Okay, what you can do to change the way you see things is just give it more detail. What if you were curious about what it would look like to live in a different way? What if you didn't just want your goal? What if you actually believed that it wanted you too? It wants you just as much as you want it. You'd probably get more emotionally involved with it, right? One big tip to give things detail and to get more emotionally involved is visualization. And we hear people talk about visualization and everybody thinks they know, but then they don't do it. They don't do it because they don't realize how powerful it is. Let's do a little mini visualization, okay? Close your eyes. I want you to picture walking into your kitchen. Okay, you're walking to the kitchen. I want you to grab a cutting board. I want you to grab a knife out of the drawer. You see a lemon sitting there off to the side. I want you to grab that lemon. And I want you to cut it down the center, right down the middle of that lemon. And I want you to turn it on its side and I want you to cut it again. And then take that quarter and I want you to cut it again. Then I want you to take that lemon slice. I want you to stick it in your mouth and start to chew on it. want you to take it out of your mouth, put it down, and open your eyes. Did your whole mouth just fill up with saliva? Could you see the lemon on the counter? Guess what? That lemon wasn't real. It wasn't real. And yet you likely, if you were actually doing it, I know I did, you will have a physical reaction to chewing the lemon. Right? We had a physical, do we have a real lemon in our mouths? No, you guys are watching me the whole time. But yet I can tell you my whole mouth just, okay? Can you imagine what is happening when you are thinking thoughts that do not serve you? You think, oh, it's just a thought. But that energy is going to have a physical effect on your body. Oh, well, I just need to like take a pill for it. I'm honest to goodness. If you're thinking of a lemon just had a physical reaction on your body, do you have just that slightest aha moment of like, maybe my thinking is causing my anxiety? Maybe my thinking is causing me to attract in the same relationships over and over again. Maybe my thinking is causing me to not be able to up my income. Maybe it's my thinking. Wouldn't that make sense? What would it look like if you had prosperous, abundant thoughts? What if every time you pass the mirror, instead of looking at every wrinkle and dimple, you looked at yourself and gave you the wink and the gun and said, I love you. You're amazing. You're a rock star. Keep up the good work. Okay, this is why getting rid of the negative, which is what you did yesterday, that right side of the paper, is so important to release and then declare the positive. Okay, and fall in love with that goal. Okay, it's like falling in love with a human for the first time. Okay, like initially, you're going to be curious, right? Or maybe you're like in love with an idea for the first time, right? You meet them for the first time, you're like, ooh, who's this person? Then you hang out with them more and you get to know them. You bring detail to them. And the more you get to know them, the more you love them. Okay, your goal is the same way. Hang out with it, visualize it, give it detail, fall in love with it. I promise you, you will be so in love with it, you can't get it off your mind. Damn, I need a piece of that goal. Okay, your goal is seeking you too. That's why you're here. Trust me, you're not here to grind it out to earn a living, despite what you might think, despite the way you might be programmed. Who cares if that's what your parents did and they lived a good life. My grandparents did the same thing, they were good. You'll know intuitively if you were meant for more. And we always are, because we are meant to create. That is why we're here. We're meant to evolve. Okay, but remember your goal, it's a vibration. And if you're not paying attention to it, then you're out of alignment with it. Okay, your heart wants your goal. Do you think when someone is in love with you that they're looking at your flaws? All the things that you don't like about yourself? No. Right? So why bring those things forward with you when you have the ability to just let them go? Okay, your goal is in love with you. All of you. Every wrinkle and dimple. You have the ability to let everything else go and be a vibrational match with what you desire. What's the one thing that will stop you from chasing your goal? We've talked about it. Doubt, fear. Okay, accept the belief that even if just one person's done it before you, that you can do it too. Accept that right now. Maybe you're like, I don't know if anybody's done this before, but maybe it's a business you want to start. Has somebody started a business before and made it hugely successful? Then yes, they've done it. Okay, think about it. If you focus on the people not getting what they want, then you're going to be in a negative vibration and you're going to continue to attract that in. Pay attention to the people around you that are getting what they want. And I can guarantee those are the exact same people not paying attention to the noise. Okay? Think of your big goal. And yes, it might seem like, oh, this is really big. Chunk it out. Break it down into smaller goals. Right? If you're picturing a new house, then know the steps to getting a house. But when you visualize it, you want to already be in the house. You have to make a decision to do this every day. Okay? Decide. Decision comes from the word incision, which means to cut off. Okay? You are going one way and everything's going the opposite way that you're releasing. And you don't need to go back there. Like I said, you can say, thanks, past. Appreciate you. Thanks for all the lessons. So we talked about yesterday. Thanks for all the lessons. Moving forward now. So now you have made a decision to move forward. And you want to run there. Get going. Because you are in love and trusting that it is in love with you too. Okay, when you do this visualization, not of the lemon, but of your goal, in the future, and you bring it to life, you are bringing faith and knowing that it's already going to happen. It's like a puzzle. I actually just finished like a 1,000-piece puzzle. It's cracking on it pretty hard. My whole family was supposed to do it. It ended up just being me. Okay, but when I opened the box, I didn't go like, oh my gosh, like how's this all going to come together? I just knew it would come together. Right? And I looked at the front cover and it was like these beautiful unicorns and it's gorgeous. Again, my girls were really excited to help me initially. And they got overwhelmed and they pieced out. Right? But I looked at the cover. That's my goal. Okay, the fun is in putting it together. You don't get partway through it and then just give up because you know it's going to come together. You've seen it. You see the front cover right there. It's right there. Right? And I can't like go to somebody else's puzzle and say, "Hey, I'll trade you puzzle pieces." That's not the way it works. Okay, your puzzle is unique to you. And guess what? You've spent your entire life collecting the pieces. You have to start trusting that it's all going to come together, and it's all going to come together when it's supposed to. There were a couple of pieces that as I was putting them together, like that my last two pieces actually were random pieces that I was missing, but I just kept moving forward. But I knew exactly what it was supposed to look like. Okay, so I want you to practice visualizing every single day. Visualize yourself. You're living in where you're supposed to live, in your home. Visualize yourself celebrating. Who's with you? Pay attention to all the details Use your five senses in your visualization. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? Reach out. I like to look at my hands because I know what my hands look like, right? Or I'll look down at the floor. I know what my feet look like. I always love to have like my family in my visualizations, right? When I'm like touring around the house, like it allows me to bring emotion. So I'm like, it's usually like Christmas time. I love Christmas. So it's like I've got my tree up and my family's there. We're hanging out and visualize talking to your family. Even if they don't get what you're doing right now, they're going, "Oh, you're nuts. I can't believe you're doing that." I want you to visualize them giving you the biggest hug and them saying to you, "I'm so proud of you. You did it. Thank you." Okay? And just get emotionally involved with your visualization because you are meant to achieve big things. How do you know? Because you see it. You can see it in your visualization, just like with the lemon. So if you're tuning in today for the first time, I want you to go back to yesterday, just start at the beginning, and I want you to release what's not serving you. I want you to go through the workbook. If you don't have the workbook, just register. You'll get it emailed to you. If you registered, check your email. Okay? Fix yourself on the vision and then plot the course. Okay? And remember that every result you get is a reflection of your self image. You don't get what you want, you get who you are. Okay? Plot the course and visualize it's already done because you would not desire it if it wasn't meant to be done. If you desire $1 million, you have to start thinking like someone and making decisions like someone that already has $1 million. You keep making decisions based on what you currently have, and you've gone as far as you're ever going to go. You keep making decisions based on fear, you've gone as far as you're ever going to go. This I know for sure. I did it for years. I'm well versed in it. But I'm also well versed in making decisions from my goal achieved. And it feels better. And I can see myself moving forward. My results are reflecting it. Okay? If you're not sure where you're at, check your results. They tell everything. They tell everything. You have this unreal potential. But meet yourself where you're at right now, right? You can't get to the top of the ladder unless you leave the bottom, though. And this is true in every single facet of your life. Think of the people who are looking for a new relationship, but they still haven't gotten over the old one. Look at the people starting diet programs who just can't give up their morning bagel and cream cheese. And in today's economy, there's all kinds of people who've been downsized and looking for new positions, but they still got the old position, like negative emotions around it. When you release that, you make space for the new. Okay. I tell all of my coaching peeps or people that come to my seminars to consider sacrificing first. What is not vital to your survival? And second, what is not required to achieve your purpose? You have to give up who you are now to become who you are going to become. But you are meant for big things. That is why you're here. That is part of your purpose. If you really want to dive more into it, message me, and I'm going to put a link to the Power of Purpose retreat. I have one coming up on March 4th, actually, all day long. But meet yourself where you're at right here. Okay? I want you to make sure you're registered. And I'm also going to put a link to my calendar. So because you have attended, you automatically qualify for a free call. Okay, so I'm going to put a link to my calendar. I want you to use it. I want you to use it. I want you to gift yourself with actually doing what I've taught you to do. I want you to gift yourself with just being coachable. Okay? Your future self thanks you for this. Let's get finding your purpose. Let's start loving yourself. And then it'll be in you to give to other people. Remember, you cannot give what's not in you to give. So if you continue to pour from an empty cup, it's not going to last for very long. Again, been there. Super grateful that I recognized that I was burnt out when I did. I got on purpose and my life's never been the same. And I know that I will never be like that ever again. And that feels good. It's exactly what I need. Let's get on purpose. Thank you guys so much for joining. Hello there on